your and my future, which we are presently living in today.
That's right.
Where you find Pharaoh during the time of Moses looking at the children of Israel. And he says, look, the children of Israel are multiplying. Come, let us deal wisely with them before they join on to an enemy of ours and come against us. In the book of Genesis, it is written, know of a surety, Abraham, that thy seed will be a stranger in a strange land among a strange people, despised and rejected for 400 years. And after that time, I'm coming, God himself. And I will judge those people and judge that nation. So as we said last week, the prophecy that's given to Abraham of the 400 years of a people being in a strange land among a strange people in bondage, we in the Nation of Islam believe and know that black people in America fit that prophecy.
That's right. That's perfect.
And if we fit that prophecy and we understand that the devil through Adam and the Adamic race, after disobeying God, was kicked out of the Garden of Eden and given 6 days to do their devilishment. And a day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, then for 6,000 years the devil would rule.
That's right.
And at the end of the devil's rule, coming into the 7,000th year, which is the 7th day of Advent, God would make himself known and begin establishing the kingdom of God. Now, many of us may know that, but what's the intricacies of how that works out? This is the reason why we keep going over it in the Nation of Islam. Because, brothers and sisters, you and I are living in it. The sign of the end of the devil's rule is when a people will be put in bondage from a strange land among a strange people for 400 years. That will be at the end of the devil's rule.
Yes, sir.
And when that bondage, the 400 years is up, God will make himself manifest.
That's right.
And in the Bible it says, I think in Thessalonians, that unless there be a falling away first, the man of sin cannot be revealed. So a falling away from what? A falling away from who? So when we start connecting the dots, there's an angel in the book of Revelation that's saying, come out of her, my people, lest you be partakers of her sins and her plagues. Well, the falling away is mean coming out of the mindset of another people, the reality of another people, a culture of another people.
Yes, sir.
So you and I got to be taught righteousness, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, and refinement.
That's the only thing gonna work.
That prefix or suffix of re is to do again. You already fine, but you got to be refined. Because on the outside you may look good, but inside in the heart and the mind, we're not thinking from the level of the thought of the originator. And now Minister Farrakhan has said to the original man comes from the thinking of Allah, the made man from his testicles. So if we're thinking from our lower nature all the time, then we're thinking from the mind of the made man.
Very good.
We gotta grow in consciousness to think from the mind of our Father, the originator.
That's right.
Come on.
And when you and I start thinking like God, then we move like God. We walk like God. We talk like God. And our ears hear what God hears. And when we talk, God talks. And when we move, God moves. Who don't want to be like that? All praises are due to Allah. But look at this. Unless there be a falling away first, the man of sin cannot be revealed.
That's right.
The devil ain't no spirit. The devil ain't no spook. Satan is not invisible.
Come on.
He's a man. And if Satan is the man of sin, then God gotta be a man too. Now that one that is a sign or showing that God is present, what's the sign?
Right.
That means someone would stand up and point out the devil. Now in all of your knowledge and consciousness, Outside of what you know of the supreme wisdom lessons. Who before that was showing you the devil?
Good question. Excellent question.
See, that man that stands up and tells you who the devil is, by him doing that is letting you know God is present. If all the lights are out in the room and an electrician comes but doesn't say he's an electrician, but he goes in the back and does some work and the lights come on, then you know there was an electrician in the room. Is that right? We've been in darkness for 400 years. God comes like a thief in the night and impregnates one from among us with truth. And he starts speaking that truth. Elijah Muhammad. Not for one day, not for 1 week, not for 1 month, not for 2 months, for 40 years. The full gestation of giving birth is 36 weeks. Is that correct? 9 months. He was pregnant and gave birth to a nation. And we don't see it properly because we're not connecting it with the Bible and the Holy Quran, because look, the enemy ain't got his hands on both these books.
Yes, you have.
Added in and took out. But brothers and sisters, I don't give a damn if he was to flip it around, rip it up straight. He doesn't have more wisdom than the supreme being.
That's right.
The supreme being already saw him coming before he was born. Knew what he would do, how he would do it, and then said, go ahead, let it go down. I know, it may be a lot. And sometimes I get to going and going and going and, you know, yeah, brother, yeah. And some, I just want to say,
Don't stop. Turn the lights on.
our culture is not Thanksgiving.
No, sir. Say that again.
I'm not trying to bust up what you got planned or where you planning to go. But when we talk about the duty of a civilized person, we're talking about righteousness, we're talking about knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, and refinement. The knowledge of God brings its own culture with it.
True.
The knowledge of self brings its own culture with it. Is that right?
Sure.
So when you have a knowledge of self and you know good and doggone well, Thanksgiving is not about being thankful for black people and our Native American brothers and sisters,
Right.
then why would we still celebrate that?
It's a shame, brother.
They don't give it.
See? Because once you know the truth about what's that all about and what the slaughters that took place during that time, then what you celebrating? Whose culture is that? You ain't no Puritan. You ain't no pilgrim. And you sure not a cracker. So what? You was at Plymouth Rock? You was on the Mayflower? Maybe you was on the Nina Pinta in Santa Maria. Because we was in slave ships. So what the hell are you celebrating? Well, you know, I'm thankful for my mother, and I'm thankful. But brother, yeah, you can do that every day.
Right.
Don't stop making no excuse for you to eat some turkey. As a brother said to me yesterday, he said, man, I've been ordering heroes every day with the honey glazed turkey anyway, so why am I gonna wait till Thanksgiving and then go ahead and get a turkey when I'm getting a hero every other week with the honey glazed turkey? You know, like, only the black community can come up with stuff like this. I'm telling you. That's barbershop talk right there. That's the stuff you hear in the barbershop. But I'm just mentioning, you know, knowledge of self brings a culture with it.
That's right, brother.
You see? And it brings you out of the mind of another man. So this man of sin has been revealed. It's the white man.
Absolutely.
But it's deeper than just the surface of the white man. It's a mentality. It's an idea of a teaching. that's based in lying, stealing, and murder, and how to master the original people. He is a natural enemy. He don't love black people. He's not made to love black people. He was not made to have any kind of love for black people in his heart or mind. Now, I don't care if you got a white boyfriend, some little white girlfriend. You just dealing with somebody that got venom in them that hasn't matured yet. But when that damn venom in that little white boy and that little white girl that you got starts maturing, you're going to find out the devil is the devil all day. There ain't no getting away from that. Just our brother said, get out. Remember that movie? Get out. Get out of that sunken place.
Get out.
She giving you tea. Oh man, I need a napkin or something, bro. You know, y'all all right? Because I'm watching the time. I'm not going to keep you long today. I'm like, look, get out. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of us are black-white.
Explain it.
No.
You know, I love Oreo cookies. No, I do. And I had stopped eating them for a long time, but when you got children, you gotta always buy snacks. You know, look. I said, there's some Muslim in the audience saying, snacks? We ain't supposed to be having no snacks. No, it's how to eat. Look, when you have children, there's gotta be some management over it. Look, they will wear your behind out. You eat your food, you get a snack. And this ain't happening all the time. Because my children, I just tell you straight up, they feel anything they eat of food, I should have a snack after that.
That's right. Anything.
I ate, can I get a snack? No, man, you just, come on, you ain't getting snacks all doggone day. Every time you eat, you gotta get a snack. See, some of y'all can't identify. I got 8 children, so I done dealt with this so many times over and over again. It's just like, look, praise be to all their snacks there. Because there wasn't that many snacks in my house when I was coming up, you know. And so a snack was a real treat. Is that right? Please. What? Remember the other week we were talking about them syrup sandwiches? Come on now. That was a... No, I'm just saying, we made up snacks. You know, shoot, and it was good. It was good. Is that right? And some of us got sophisticated and we started baking biscuits and having biscuits and syrup. Syrup sandwich, I got me about 10 biscuits and a plate of syrup. I'm getting ready to get busy. You know, I mean, we gotta have fun in the midst of dealing with this knowledge because some of it is so heart-wrenching. But I'm saying that to say, I kind of got my taste buds back for Oreo cookies.
Yes, sir.
But you got some people who are black on the outside, but white on the inside. It's in the scripture, it's really leprosy. See, you're thinking people with spots and Moses came and no, it's us in modern day and time. Leprosy of the mind. You think white. You walk white. You talk white. You skateboard white. You just want to be white. But on the outside, you look black. You walk your dog white. You got the little dog. You got the shilzit, whatever it's called. Excuse me if I said something wrong. You know, you got your little poodle. Now, what a black man look like? Now, I'm talking about alpha male now. Walking around with a poodle. Representing, dog. What are you talking about?
This was doing that.
No, we had German Shepherds, Doberman Pinschers, Pit Bulls, you know what I'm saying, boxers. What are you doing with that little chihuahua? What are you doing with that, bro? Nah, you see, you just not sophisticated. No, you white. You thinking white, you acting white, but you look black. Then you got the Metro Mail.
Uh-oh.
You better be careful with that Metro Mail stuff. I don't look. That's a banana peel. You get too Metro, you start turning into something else. You in the doggone beauty salon getting your nails done.
With the poodle. Wow.
Now, you know, look, I've had a manicure a couple of times. I don't feel comfortable. It's just something about a black man. I know I'm alpha male. Look, I just don't feel comfortable sitting there in some shop.
Right.
If my wife can't do my nails, then I'm doing them my doggone self. You massaging my hand, you patting on it. Look, this feels feminine to me. And I'm looking around wondering if anybody see me in this doggone shop with me getting my damn nails. I'm not off the subject, man. I'm just making a point. And somebody sitting there saying, well, I like getting my nails. All right, bro, just be careful. Next thing you know, you got them doing your feet.
Yeah.
Or you know, you getting your eyebrows done. And you got the skinny jeans.
Talk about
Skinny jeans.
And your voice is becoming more soprano. And you got too many gestures where your hand is just hanging. Bruh, you're transforming. And you don't even know it. I'm not saying you're going the other way, but it's happening by degrees. I don't know if it's the smell in the shop, because there might be some fumes in there that's just dealing with estrogen, you know what I mean? And it's hitting you a certain way, but the sisters walk out of there floating. All right, you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay? But you get the point.
Yeah.
No? Yes? All right, bro, I'm still your brother. We gotta be careful. So, I wanted to, as we're getting with the wrap-up of this subject matter, I'm leaning more right now on the duty of a civilized person, because it ties to the knowledge that we must have, and it also ties to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Oh, you know what? It's a napkin down here. And so, when we're reading our lessons about the duty of a civilized person, it points us to the book of Ezekiel at a certain point. And you heard my brother David, he was going into the number 19 and giving you a certain knowledge on that. But Master Fard Muhammad, as Brother Anthony was mentioning, you know, this is the teacher of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And really, you know, we've said it time and time again, but we'll say it again. That's God in person.
Yes. That's right.
That's God in person. He fulfills what the gods thousands of years ago had already predicted of our history. That after the 400-year process, God would come from the east to the west to judge the people that had us in bondage and free our people up from this condition. But as I said last week, it's one thing for God to choose us, then we got to choose God.
That's right.
So he knew he had to study us, and he studied for 42 years to qualify himself. Now, as we heard Minister Farrakhan say in the press conference, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is alive.
All right.
And wants America to know he's alive.
Come on. Right.
And is on the wheel.
That's right.
With Master Fard Muhammad, and has been there for the past 42 years, and he taught us that it took God 42 years to qualify himself to come and save us. Now we got our man.
All right.
That has qualified himself. This ain't for everybody. You ain't got to believe this part.
Thank you.
But for those of you that believe a Jesus of 2,000 years ago is coming back, we talking about our man that's been gone for 42 years. And we got a witness that's been around while he was gone, working in his name and doing a work while the enemy and all their agencies is against our witness and the nation he's raising up. We've been winning.
Come on. Come on.
What kind of power is backing us? But when you look at the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan making that statement about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that is what it is, and we're going to get deeper into that as time goes by.
All right.
But understanding this, What is the duty of a civilized person? To teach the uncivilized people who are savage civilization, righteousness, the knowledge of himself, the science of everything in life, love, peace, and happiness. Then he asks the question, if a civilized person does not perform his duty, what must be done? That's the 19th question. In Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2, which consists of 40 questions and answers. It's not by coincidence that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad worked in our midst for 40 years. And Lost Found lesson number 2 is entitled The First Term Examination of Mr. Elijah Muhammad. What did the God know that we don't know? That after 40 years that man would depart from us, but we got 40 questions and answers from him and his servant? How long would it take us to break down that science? But if the civilized person does not perform his duty, what must be done? If a civilized person does not perform his duty, which is teaching civilization to others, they should be punished with a severe punishment. Now in the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 47, it talks about lashings that will come. How do we understand those lashings? Those of us that have knowledge of supreme wisdom and strive to live by that knowledge. If we're not doing the work of a civilized person and you find yourself dealing with all these different trials and tribulations in your life, you need to look back to what you swore yourself to as word is bond and bond is life. Because we was asked that question in Lost Found Muslim lesson number 1, question and answer number 11. Have you not learned that your word shall be bond? And bond is life. No, your word shall be bond regardless to whom or what. Yes, my word is my bond, and bond is life, and I will give my life before my word shall fail. That's right. So if I'm facing eviction and my lights is out and the gas is off, am I supposed to stop doing the duty of a civilized person?
No way. No way.
But if I'm doing the work of a civilized person and I'm getting the pursuit of happiness in my life, then I'm blessed. I can't get comfortable with that and start getting bourgeois.
That's right. There you go.
To the point where I don't want to work as hard as I was working before I got to that point. I got to work harder.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's right.
And then if I'm not doing my duty, but yet I'm noticing that in my family life, my daughter's going through issues, my wife's going through issues, I got some illnesses, I'm getting hit with this, that, and the other, my mama done died, my father got his foot cut off, all these things, those are lashings, brothers and sisters.
Right. Come on, brother.
How else would God be able to whip on you and I?
That's right.
The Quran says he tries us by what we love.
That's right.
In the Quran, he tells us that your wife and your children will be a trial for you. What kind of trial? We can't love them more than we love the God and the one that brought us this wisdom to the point where we will stop doing what we're supposed to do for them. Because that can happen.
That's right.
I'm going to get off it.
That's right.
But I just want to say this.
That's right. That can happen. That's right. It happens.
Why do you think Jesus said there'll be 2 of you laying in the bed and God will take one and leave the other?
Right. That's right.
There'll be 2 of you grinding at the mill. God will take one and leave the other. Well, laying in the bed, we can't get no closer than that. That's husband and wife.
All right.
One of you is a believer, the other one is a disbeliever. And the disbeliever will try his spouse.
Come on.
What?
Based off of the love of the relationship. Oh, so you just gonna go? And I need you here right now? Every time I turn around, you have the mosque. Every time I turn around, it's a call out. Oh, so Minister Farrakhan's in town, but can't other brothers go do that? Can't other sisters go do that? Why you gotta go all the time? Who is Farrakhan? And it may sound legit to you. And an argument may ensue. And out of your emotion, man, you know what? For the sake of it, I'm going to sit out on this one. You call brother, I ain't going to be able to make it.
Come on.
There ain't nothing wrong with her. Ain't nothing wrong with him. Everything is set up in the house. They can lounge. I'm only going to be going for a few hours, maybe going for a day. No, it's a power struggle. It's a fight.